What is going on, guys? I'm super excited today because today is Dyno Day. So unfortunately, it's kind of raining. So we're gonna have to load the 240 up in the rain, drive it down there with no hood. It'll be fine, I guess. But I want to throw the fenders on real quick, just cause we don't need them. But let's just throw them on. It'll help. I just want to throw them on. There she is, guys. She's up on the trailer, ready to go. Today's the day. We're gonna get her dyno. We're gonna see what she puts down, and fingers crossed, no issues. Damn, so we got her in. He's getting everything set up. If you can see, it sort of says something right there on the bumper that I didn't realize when I took it off, but that's okay. So I'm really glad that he has this kind of dyno, not the actual roller dyno, because my tires over there are so skinny, they're only 205s, that I think that I would be spinning on an actual roller dyno. So we had a little bit of issue with the wastegate. It didn't come with instructions, and there's supposed to be 2 plugs on there that I didn't have, so we had to go pick up some bolts, and then it's temporary plug now, and then when we get home, we'll put the actual plugs that it came with in. So right there on the wastegate, you can see that bolt in there. That's one of the ports that you have to block, and there's also one on the other side, right there. That is supposed to be plugged. I didn't know that because the wastegate didn't come with instructions, so we had some issues there, but once we got it hooked up, everything was perfect. So right in here, here's the bag of hardware that it came with. These little guys here, 1, 2, and 3 back here, those are the plugs that you have to use, and then it comes with 2 -4 fittings if I wanted to run coolant lines through it, which probably don't. I mean, I think it's fine. Yeah, that's what we needed. I didn't bring that, so we had to go get some bolts. So just come out of the diner shop and turn the corner and, you know, just an R33 here, you know, no big deal. Guys, so we just got home and I had to take the 240 out. I just had to. I couldn't wait. I just had to, and oh my god, it fucking pulls really good. Like it surprised me because we're only making 270 at the wheel for horsepower and 218 for torque, and that's starting right around like 5,000 RPMs. And up until then, it's like, okay, this is like normal. It's more power than the KA was producing. But then as soon as the boost starts to come in, it fucking pulls you back into the seat, and oh my god, it is crazy. It is so fucking good. I'm so happy. Like, it's great. So, oh my god, let's do some more pulls, and then I'll do a little explanation on where we are with the tune and how everything's set up and where we go from here, because this isn't the final, like this isn't the final stage for the RB. Like this is the lowest amount of power that this motor is ever gonna make, and that's pretty cool to think about. Like 270 doesn't sound like a lot, and to me it didn't, but on 11 psi, just oh my god, everything is fucking great. The blow off valve sounds cool. All right, you know what, I'm gonna stop talking and let's go for a drive. So we just got done doing some pulls, and holy shit. Like, it's crazy, because like, keep in mind, I only have 205s in the rear, so the tires are pretty skinny, and they're also off-road tires, so there's not as much tire on the ground as a normal tire. So that's a factor. I got wheel spin, lost traction, and I fishtailed a little bit. But other than that, it's been perfect. Like, I've only gone to about half throttle, was the most I've done. It's usually around like 30% on the TPS, so it's like quarter throttle, a little bit more than quarter throttle. And when it gets up to like 4,500, that's when the boost really starts to come in hard. Pulls, the wastegate opens, and the motor gets really loud, and it pulls you back. It puts you in your seat. Crazy to think that it's tuned. We had pretty much no issues on the dyno. So we do have somewhat of a major issue. There's a coolant leak, which isn't that big of a deal because I just have to tighten some clamps and then that should go away. But we are leaking oil from the trans, like where the bell housing and the motor meet. So we think it's the rear main seal, which sucks because I actually replaced the rear main seal and I didn't need to. Either it's the rear main seal or there's an oil leak somewhere else and it's just dripping from the bell housing. There was a little bit of a puddle underneath when we were done. There was a little bit of a coolant puddle too. The coolant leak is coming from the front of the motor, so I believe it's either the lower radiator hose or it's one of these here. We'll just tighten everything and make sure everything's good. But as far as the oil leak, I'm gonna have to do more investigating and make sure that it is the rear main seal before I decide that I want to drop the trans, because that's going to be a pain in the ass. Other than that though, everything stayed pretty good. The coolant temp stays around 80 degrees Celsius, which is about 180 degrees roughly in Fahrenheit, and all the sensors and everything work. The only major issue we had on the dyno was the wastegate, because it was boost spiking pretty gnarly. Once we had it set up, you can see how we have this line is just coming off the turbo and it loops around because it's so goddamn long and then goes to the wastegate. I'll cut that and then we'll be good. The blow off valve is pretty loud. You can actually sort of hear it, even though the fucking hood exit exhaust is just ridiculously loud. It's insane. Once we have a actual exhaust and it's coming out the back there, we'll be able to hear that more, which is good because that's what I want. I might even turn it up, like have it like that, maybe even back more, just so I can actually hear it. So I'm also probably going to get stiffer motor mounts because when it does hit the rev limiter, the motor does shake a little bit. So we'll probably have to end up getting some stiffer ones. We'll have to source some. It took us a little bit to figure out what was going on with the boost spike. But I mean, that's about it. Like, everything went pretty smoothly, which is awesome. Going in, I thought something was going to blow up. I had a feeling. I was like, okay, it's going to do a couple pulls. Seemed pretty good. Next pull, something's going to go. I don't know what, but something's going to go. And that never happened. So, very happy about that. The car's tuned, we can drive it as hard as we want now, and everything's gonna be alright. It's a super safe tune considering how everything is. Like, it's way overkill as far as what parts I got for this amount of boost and this amount of power, so we can push a lot more if we wanted to. But when we do go back, we're gonna try to get close to 350 horsepower, but for now, I mean, everything is great. Like, I'm happy with 270 right now. So yeah, I just want to give a little shout out to Chris over at Natural Aspirations. He's the shop that I went to. I talked to him literally earlier this week, let him know what I had, gave him a list of the mods, sent him the base map that I had, and let him know where I wanted to be and everything, and he made the process super simple. Everything was really easy. It really was a good experience for my first dyno day working with him, and in the future, most likely going to be going back to him because I know that he does good work, and he's not that far from me, so that's another plus. And he gave me a pretty good price for it. I thought it was pretty fair. Everything was just great. Everything went smoothly. He really knows what he's doing. This was actually his first time with an ECU Master ECU, so it was a first for everything. My first dyno day, his first time with the ECU. Everything went pretty smoothly, so I mean, I keep saying that, but it really did. And if you noticed in the video earlier, when it was on the dyno, it's not a roller dyno, it's an actual hub dyno, which, in my opinion, and I know nothing, but in my opinion, that's better than the roller dyno, because you don't have any wheel slip, so you can't be like, right when the boost comes in, your tires slip, and then it's reading wrong on the dyno. That won't happen with the hub dyno, so, in my opinion, that makes it way better. But, again, I don't know anything, so you make the decision for yourself. But I'll leave all the information for his shop and everything in the description, so you can go hit him up, let him know what you have, and he'll walk you through what you need to do, and then he'll get you right. He'll get it going. You'll be happy. I can vouch for that. You'll be more than happy with how everything turns out. And also wanted to do a quick little shout out to Mr. Trenton. He actually commented on the video, and I've been talking with him a little bit about the car throughout the build. He let me know about this shop, Natural Aspirations. So thanks, man. I really appreciate that. I was having such a hard time finding a tuner, and the only other tuner that I found that was willing to do this was in San Diego, and it was sort of hard to get a hold of him at times. It was just a hard time, mainly with the ECU that I went with. It's not as common in Southern California, so in the future I'm probably going to go with like Haltech or something. We'll see what other plans we have for other builds, but right now we're good to go. Everything's great. But with that said, I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching. We've come a long way since the KA broke. Comment down below, let me know if you guys have been following the build from the start, and if you haven't, definitely I'll put a link to the playlist up here of every video on the build. This is a year in the making. There's still more work to do, but we're pretty far along. Like, we're at like 95% done. Everything's just about done. So, and then hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.